Kia ora, guys. Welcome back. Just thought I'll drop a quick one on y'all. Drop a quick deuce. No, that's not true. You know, everything I speak is true. Alright? I don't need no motherfucking proof. So I cannot say deuce. You know? So I was thinking and I was having a conversation this morning or this rise, should I say, because I don't sit there and mourn at the start of my day. I give rise and I give birth and I give praise to the things that I want to do with that. So praise may not be the right word. That's why I kind of hesitated. But I was having a conversation today, and got me really, really intrigued and like wondering as well, which I've heard other people make points about this before. Right? Shout out to Dollar Parliament. Shout out to Mooney Mercury Baby. I've heard them talk about like the same or similar kind of point. But it just really kind of felt home for me today while I was having this conversation. And someone was telling me about how you have to ask for permission to put a fence up in your own yard, even though you've bought a house. Which we know there's many, many examples of stuff that isn't even related to fences and houses that they also do that are quite ridiculous and kind of usually unnecessary majority of the time, right? So then I was sitting there thinking, what gives anyone the right to actually come to someone's land, steal the land, and now you're selling it off to other people, selling that land that you literally just stole, or giving it to your own children so that they can sell it. But then not only like beyond the fact that you're selling it, right, which is already like what gives you the right. But beyond that, even if we were to ignore that fact, it's also looking at then they also feel the need to be able to enforce laws to stop people from doing what they want to do on that land that they've already bought from the government. Like, what the fuck? That is actually like beyond stupid. Really, really think about it. It's beyond stupid. Because not only, first of all, are you selling stolen land, like, bar that, but second of all, now you're trying to enforce your own will and your own perspective on other people on that stolen land. Like, what? First of all, you already lack the ability to be able to convince others that that's the right thing to do in the first place, right? So you have to manipulate it or enforce it via law and fear, right? But you also are just that is lost my motherfucking train of thought. Hold on. You're also enforcing that onto other people, which we already know. When you have to do that, that already requires you to be in a space of not being able to just naturally influence or lead by example someone. Like, that's just pointing to the fact that they are not actually equipped or mentally, spiritually, or even physically to be able to actually run a country or enforce these laws that they're actually enforcing. So like just their actions, you can already tell by someone's actions whether they're capable of doing or fulfilling a certain role in real life. So then if you go beyond that, now you have to sort of think about it as again, train of thought. I probably should have smoked at home. I should have probably had a helicopter before I jumped. I was thinking that, then I was like, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But a lot of people may think that like I should have smoked less home. No, this is usually like when I smoke and it's like not even vibing with me versus another video you see me when I'm going like 1,000 miles an hour and I don't seem to be getting much or at all, that's when I'm actually that's when I'm actually smoking, which I feel like a lot of other people would watch and would think, oh yeah, he seems pretty energetic, seems pretty sober, but little do you know, I'm flying. But yeah, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. I just wanted to bring that point home as well, and just really like get people to question it. Anybody who may watch me, you know, even just talking about it in general. Like, 'cause I can care less if I change someone's mind. At the end of the day, I'm just going to attract people that are like mine. But I don't have any reason or intention to want to overly enforce myself or my views or my lifestyle onto other people. Like that is not something I would want to do. I would rather just attract the people who vibe with my state of being and vibe with my mind, and create the same lifestyle together. We both vibe, we both think the same, we both think similar, That's all I care about majority of the time. And if anybody else wants to like incorporate or help to build on that, even if they're not in that same like minded, which arguably they probably are if they're even willing to do that. But leading by example will also influence people. So they can't even lead by example. They can't even do any of that because otherwise, if they could, they would be. But nobody ever looked up to certain people in like freaking um main government. People would say, "Oh yeah, I do look up to them, or I do see them as an inspiration." But a lot of the time, it may be just because, in comparison to the other people in public, or in comparison to the other people that you guys had, that's why you like them. But if you really had to choose, you probably wouldn't choose any of them. If you had another option that was a little bit more down to earth or relatable to your setting, to your mind. So just looking at it like that, you're already able to tell they don't have the qualities to be able to act, you know, or like, yeah, I really cannot say more than that. Really, like, you don't get it, you don't get it, because at the end of the day, it's really really simple like that. You don't really have to delve too deep and look too heavy, seeing that like a lot of the stuff that they enforce, a lot of the ways that the government is not necessarily productive towards actual well functioning society, and that's the reason why we have majority of our problems. No, I can't remember what I was talking about. I know what I was talking about, but then it was specific. But going into a specific word and everything like that. Yeah. The more we realize as well how actually the way that they run, which a lot of people know anyway, but the more people realize the specifics of it, the less they'll be able to get away with it, because everyone will be able to break their own way. But a lot of people don't want to know the specifics too. People just want to be disillusioned or blind or focused on uh, imaginary world, but everything's fun or whatever else they may be. But that is not my Uh, Why the fuck are we allowing these motherfuckers to actually don't even make a positive difference in our society? If anything, it's more of a negative. People have been known for a long time. Like a lot of the stuff that they do, as well, can be sometimes indoctrination or diverse, making you feel like certain things like the Illuminati, the whole devil worship thing. Like that's low-key just style to get people into fear mode and to make themselves seem like they're more powerful than they actually are. Because yeah, in a way they have no power over anybody unless they allow them, unless people allow them. And in allowing someone to have power over you, that was automatically not them actually having power over you. You just allowed somebody to do this of whatever. So when you look at it like that, you realize that you probably weigh a lot more than you realize. And a lot of the things that you think are you taking the power back is actually you being aware of truth. It's you pop up, put themselves on a pedestal, put themselves to have more gifts and abilities and power and power, which they do not. And that's the same thing with even like negative energies or where people think that some kind of spirit has power over you. Nothing has power over you. Actually, once like if the spirit actually influences you or you feel like it's influencing you, its first point of influence is to influence you into believing that it's influence. And if you don't even let it get past that point, then it's not going to be able to influence. It'll just be trying to influence into thinking that the way but you should know to a anybody who crosses your way. And the more you think that, the more anyway, I didn't really want to end it on this one, but I also think that I put something down. If I was short and sweet, you know what I mean? So I will see you guys in the next video. Let's start out. Peace.